Good afternoon, leaders. This is your leadership specialist, Tinyiko Motileni. Today, I want us to discuss direct speaking. As you know, that I've been in the male-dominated industries as a leader for more than 20 years, hey, 22 years and a half to be exact, hey. So I've been leading in the male-dominated industries as a production manager in a open cast mining and manufacturing of bricks. And I also led in automotive industries at Nissan and Bitvest. I've also led in tile manufacturing. So my whole career of leadership revolved around leading in the male-dominated industries, and I've started my leadership career while I was still young. Hey, I think I was if 23 or 24, yeah, when I started being introduced in the leadership space. Okay, so you can imagine, the things that has happened all along. 22 years back, there's been a lot of things that have been happening. So one of the things that I've struggled with as a young leader, when I enter the male-dominated industries, is direct speaking. As a black female or a black woman, we were not introduced, to direct speaking at home with males, So we would be very much submissive to our dads, to our brothers, you know. So that catched up with me when I entered the male-dominated industries as a leader, and it was very much disturbing, weakness. It was a weakness when I enter into the male-dominated industries. So I couldn't give a matured man or older man instructions. I was struggling. I had to rehearse in my office before I go out and give and make an older man instructions to do something, So for me, it was a very, very difficult task to do, and I didn't want to do it, I struggled to do it, especially when they started talking back to me, telling me that they've been in the industry for a long time. How dare do I come and give them instructions? Why, this young 23-year-old is coming into their space and give them instructions? How dare do I do that, So it was a very difficult task for me, and I had to grow up very fast, because as difficult as it was, I needed a job. I had finished my diploma. My parents has managed to pay for my diploma, and then I had to go to work because they expected me to go to work. And as much as I was young and I needed to grow into my leadership career, I didn't have enough time. Okay, I never had enough time to grow into my career easy and slowly. I had to grow up very fast. I had to make sure that those weaknesses of not being able to communicate direct, I deal with them very fast, because otherwise I wouldn't have been in the industry for such a long time or had the job to support my children, because I already had twins at that time. Okay, so as a female leader in the male dominated industries, please, you need to invest in your direct speaking. You have to invest in your direct speaking, because if you don't invest in your assertiveness. Some are calling it assertiveness, some are calling it direct communication. I call it direct speaking, you know. If you don't address that weakness, it is going to cause challenges like they will say they didn't understand your instructions. It will cause misleading, you know, if you don't speak direct to a person and reprimand the person. It will be like, you know, she's fine with the problem, you know, she didn't say anything direct, you know. So what I realized is that males would take an advantage if you are not speaking to them directly. They would take an advantage of not following your instructions. They would take an advantage of thinking that you are saying something different from what you exactly mean, you know? So those are the challenges that I had to face, you know, and especially when you are reprimanding him, you know, you need to definitely look him in the eyes and make sure that you make that eye contact so that he can be able to understand where you stand. You know, he can be able to understand that whatever that he has done, it is wrong and you don't expect it to be repeated, you know. So be as direct as you can. And another thing, there's a thin line between being direct and being what can I call it, you know, being harsh, you know. There's a very thin line, especially for us women, you know, because every time when you are being direct, they always misinterpret that as being very harsh or, you know, very grumpy, you know, very angry. Yes, that's a word. They misinterpret it with being very angry, you know. So there is that thin line, and for me to make sure that they understand very well that I'm not angry and I'm not harsh and I'm not trying to prove a point with them, I had to maintain my calmness. Okay, so I needed to be calm so that that line between being direct and being angry can be seen, you know, to be not blurry, you know. So I had to be that kind of a person. When something is wrong, I had to um you know, confront it in a calm way, you know, and make sure that whoever that I'm speaking to doesn't interpret my direct speaking as being angry. All right. So guys, it's very difficult to lead in the male dominated industries. I don't want to lie to you. It's very, very difficult. But as the people who have walked the road already, you know, so you as the new I can put it, new workers, you know, or the new generations that are entering the male dominated industries, make sure that you don't repeat the same mistakes that we did. Okay, don't repeat the same mistakes, because if you repeat the same mistakes, then they will always, males will always hang on to angry women, you know. They cannot lead, you know. They are always taking things emotionally, you know, so they will always hang on to that. So it's very, very important that you don't repeat the same mistakes so that we can change the narrative of leadership of women in the male dominated industries as being non-existent, you know. So we need to change that narrative. We need to make sure that we show, you know, the males that we can also lead, It's our space as well. As much as they can lead in a women dominated industries, we can also lead in the male dominated industries. Okay. So, guys, I have got a workshop on Saturday, this Saturday, the 27th of August, 2022. That workshop is about me telling the good, the bad, and the ugly situations that I have faced in the male dominated industries. And it will help you not to repeat the same mistakes. And it will also help you to align, your strengths with your leadership career. Okay, so if you are interested, you can come through. The investment is only 550 rands, um South African currency, and it is on Saturday, the 27th of August at 2 o'clock South African time. So you can, if you've got time, you can register using the email that I've just written below. Okay. Then the other thing is that if you need coaching, please you can send me an email so that I can be able to help you to be the best leader or emerge as the best leader in the male dominated industries. I do have got one-on-one coaching available, open, and I also have got the coaching through a program. So I've came up with programs that I think women need when they enter the male dominated industries. So I coach you through that program. And I also coach you on one when you've got a different challenge from the ones that I've addressed in the program. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will definitely make another video very soon, guys, very soon, because I'm so excited that I have finally opened my YouTube channel. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a lovely, lovely day.